I have absolute right to document what's going on.
Take my picture.
I'm not taking your picture. This is Facebook Live.
Here's what we're going to do.
A black graduate student at Yale had a rude awakening after she fell asleep in the common area of her dorm when a white student came in, flicked on the lights, and said, "Why are you here? I'm going to call the police." And she did call the police. Campus police responded, and you'll see in this video that it took them almost 20 minutes to figure out whether or not this student was actually a student. Turns out there was a discrepancy in the spelling of her name between her student ID and what was in the student registry. Now, I want to read you the statement from Yale, because right away, of course, people took to social media decrying racism. How could there be racism on the campus? So here's what Yale had to say. This is a statement from the vice president for student life. She said, "I am deeply troubled by an incident that took place Monday night in the Hall of Graduate Studies." She went on to say, "This incident and others recently reported to me underscore we have work to do to make Yale not only excellent, but also inclusive." To paraphrase this, she announced that she was going to meet with all of the parties involved to, as she said, to better understand what exactly happened at HGS on Monday night and how we can work together to avoid such incidents in the future. All right, let's bring in the A-plus panel to break this down. I'm joined by former Irvington Mayor Wayne Smith. Always good to see you, Wayne. Thanks for being with us.
All right.
Jeanette Hoffman, Republican strategist, back with us. Always good to see you, Jeanette.
Thanks, Bill.
And Bill Caruso, Democratic strategist. Good to see you, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Let's start with Wayne. Wayne, right away, people take to social media, and if you look at I'll just read you quickly what the student had to say. This is the black student. She said, "Grateful for all the love, kind words, and prayers. Your support has been overwhelming. Black Yale community is beyond incredible and is taking good care of me. I know this incident is a drop in the bucket of trauma black folk have endured since day one, America, and you all have stories. Share below." Your first reaction to this is that the white student was a racist because she flicked the lights on and called the cops, or do you think there could be more to the story?
Well, I think that it's very difficult unless you've walked in our shoes. Sometimes the specter of race raises its ugly head on what could be a trivial incident. But it seems to me that she just assumed because a black person was in that room that they weren't supposed to be there. And I think that's how the student felt.
Do you think that sometimes when people all of a sudden, as you were talking about, could be a trivial incident, when you take to social media and you stand that there's racism in America since day one and you make this much bigger than it perhaps is, does it hurt the cause of making race relations better?
I don't know. Some of these things actually expose the underlying issue. So, we went from, now driving while black and those incidents. You also have, your current one is going into Starbucks while black. Now you're on a college campus where you're a graduate student. There's an incident around sleeping while you're playing. So I'm assuming the student was exhausted from all the great work she was doing to pursue her education and fell asleep.
It seems to me the cops did the right thing, and then as we heard, they had chastised the white student. Don't waste our time like this. But I want to give credit to the Yale VP of Student Life for saying, "I'm going to get to the bottom of it." She didn't right away come out and say, "This is definitely racism."
Right, and it's important not to judge too quickly. We don't know the motives of the student who called the police. Could she have just called the resident advisor in the dorm? I think so, but I don't know for sure. And you know what the biggest problem in this whole situation is? It's social media, Bill. You said it. I mean, stupid, trivial incidents happen all the time. But before this, we didn't have social media where everyone quickly takes and judges things and calls everything racist. I really think people should really stop and just take a pause and see what actually happened.
Is part of this the see something, say something? We've got everybody triggered now. You're all triggered. I see something out of place. Immediately I call the cops because we don't know what the next disaster is going to befall us.
Well, I think that's part of it. But so social media isn't the place to have intense racial discussions to heal the nation? Oh, well, that's news to me. All right.
Absolutely right.
I got the sense this wasn't somebody that didn't recognize a person. She didn't want her in there. And I don't know that it was race motivated. It was, you don't belong here. You shouldn't be sleeping here. It's like kind of rules oriented. So, and you're not going to listen to me, and I'm going to go call and tell on somebody. And I think the cops did the right thing. They went, they verified it, they figured out what's going on, they apologized to this poor woman and let her go back to her studies.
You have a good night. I'm not going to have a good night, but you have a good night.
is it just time for people to start to de-escalate? You know, just because one person makes a mistake and escalates this to a level of a police involvement, then to escalate it further to the grander issue of race and go to social media, aren't we making it worse?
Bill, as a society, we have a lot of work.
We do. Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.